Well, these are our uniforms. We're going into battle this evening, and we have to have the same shirts on. No, that's entirely
That's
a
not
lie.
it.
Murphy,
Yes, sir.
give me some basic information about yourself.
Well, I'm 48 years old, born and raised Scranton, Pennsylvania. My mom and dad came to this country in 1966 with nothing on their backs more than the clothes that they wore. They worked in the factory all of their lives. And in 1979, Lucia's Pizza was born, where I would be every day when I was a child. My mother put me through Catholic school for grade school, high school, learned some piano when I was at the age of 5, and pretty much is the reason who I am today through good morals and good stuff. I am a title and tag agent. I own Audubon Title and Tag located in Scranton, Pennsylvania, where we get you driving fast. I've been doing this now for 5 years, and I love what I do. I love helping people.
Awesome. So, why YouTube?
Why YouTube? Well, everybody always has a dream to go somewhere. So I decided to bring my life to YouTube so that people can see what we do and do it on the ground floor and not have to leave their house.
What? Can you explain that and elaborate a little bit more?
Sure. So I love to travel. I've been traveling since 2015. I have been to over 43 different countries around the world. And some of the places people are never going to see someday. So why not put it through the very device that they're looking at? Why not it be your phone or your computer or your iPad or your tablet and make it like you're there and experience what it's like?
Mr. Murphy, go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself, sir.
About myself. Well, they say you should never start that part of the conversation with what you do. You should start with about what you are passionate about. And my passion is finding excellence in some strange things. For instance, when I was growing up, I was a coin collector. I was a stamp collector. I was in charge of the ski club's finances. I was friends with everybody, but not exclusively friends with everybody. So, in my younger years, I was exposed to all different kinds of people. And not only people my age, but people older than me because of the hobbies that I had. And during high school, went on our first big ski trip to Killington, Vermont, and Sugarbush, Vermont, in our junior and senior years. And I caught the travel bug. So at the end of the day, I am a traveler at heart, and I go to work every day to be able to support what is my travel habit. And what's all included with travel is us seeking out adventures on a short-term basis, long-term basis. We do concerts, we do tastings, we do wineries, we do things that people should also enjoy doing. And whether it's just giving someone an idea about a show that we're going to go to, maybe you want to see this show too, about a restaurant that we'll go to turn you on to a new idea. Not everybody has a lot of free time on their hands because everybody is working, everybody is busy, everybody has got family functions to attend. But besides that, if you have some free time and you're looking for somewhere to go, someplace to eat that's new to you, then you can come to our channel and you can find out where we're going, where we've been, what we've got in store for our next adventure. And if we have some big adventures, it might be just planting some seeds for you to plan your own big adventure too.
What was it about that trip, that initial travel trip, that got you on the travel bug? What was it? Was it a scenery? Was it a place? Was it a feeling?
I think it was a feeling of independence that I would be able to go somewhere else and not have to depend on the folks at home, to be self-sustaining, to make your own way somewhere, to find your own destiny, to find your own situation, and interacting with people and in the places that I've gone has been just as much a part of making me who I am today as the people who are standing next to me.
Why do you feel travel is so important, Glenn?
Well, I remember when Sarah Palin, governor of Alaska, was running for president, and they figured out that she didn't even have a passport. And one of my things is that, you know, if you're going to run this country of ours, if you're going to be in politics and making decisions on behalf of other people, that you should have an idea how other countries do things. Not that they're right or wrong, but that they're different and why they're different. In my experience, being exposed to various cultures along the way, I've been able to bring back ideas to my business, to Lucia's business, to our personal lives that will help us to live a more full life, to have a more complete business plan, to be able to communicate this to other people so that they will be able to experience these cultures that we've experienced. And if it's not directly, it could be indirectly, or it could be part of them coming to our YouTube channel to see what it's like in other countries.
So now on to the next question, because that perfectly blended. Obviously, this is the adventures of Lucia and Glenn.
Yes.
Glenn and Lucia. However, which way you want to spice it, depending
Lucia
on which one
and Glenn.
Yeah, depending on which one you use in charge of the keyboard that day. So tell me a bit more about that. You know, what made you want to explore doing a YouTube channel about travel and food and music with your best friend and the love of your life?
How Let's Adventure with Lucia and Glenn came about was we used to do a podcast called Spitfire and Kick-Ass, where we're known for one-offs, we're known for one and dones, and my husband will even testify that too. And we would get on, we would do the radio show, and people liked the back and forth. So back in, I think it was 2014, because we were on the YouTube channel number 2 by that point. Or no, this was the beginning of 1 before 2 came accidentally because 1 had disappeared. I just grabbed the camera and, in the famous words of vidIQ, just hit record. And that's what I did. Wherever we went, I would just hit record, whether we would be doing a food review or I was catching him doing something funny on a one-off, and it just worked. So I was like, well, I think I could do this. And everywhere we went, I would just hit record. I would put everything together, no fancy editing, no nothing. And some videos, I'm shocked at how well they do. Others, you know, they do okay, but in the end, it's not about how many views, how many likes, how many shares. It's all about the passion that I'm putting into it and showing people what we love. This is our hobby. We just enjoy it.
Why was YouTube such an important aspect to the traveling for you?
Well, right now, I don't do the editing of the vlogs that we produce. I leave a lot of that to Lucia and to Paul over here and the experts. But shooting the video along the way, I was a photographer when I was very young. So I've had a camera in my hand for what is over 45 years. And what I've learned to do is to frame the shot, to take the picture that I want to show somebody. And many of our pictures end up being part of the vlogs that we do by rhyme or reason, because sometimes we're with other people and we don't want to we don't want to present the same kind of vlog that we always present. So we will modify that, and we'll get some pictures thrown in there, and try to include some voiceovers with a description of what you're actually looking at.
Big question. You love to eat.
Yes.
So get a little bit into why include the food with the travel?
Well, the reason why I love to include the food with the travel is I've always been a foodie ever since I'm little. No matter what my mother put on my plate, I ate it. So when I started traveling, I always wanted to see what it was like to try the food where we go. And I'll never forget, the first international trip was Japan in 2016. Walked around the corner from the hotel and landed in a 24-hour sushi bar. And it was the very first time that I ever ate sushi. I never had sushi before. I didn't know what to expect. I always said the rule, if as long as it's not moving, I'll eat it. And sure enough, here's sushi sitting in front of me. And oh my God, it was amazing. So ever since that moment in time, just incorporated it in every time we go somewhere. Maybe somebody's looking for a new place to eat, or maybe they're looking for something to do, or maybe they're looking for, find the next music act. So I want to be able to give them a heads up and say, this is where you want to be.
Where does the food fit in for you?
Well, of course, I eat well. we can tell, and we try to eat healthy wherever we go. We try to avoid things that are going to be bad for us. At the same time, I do partake in a glass of wine and some cocktails along the way, because there's people who enjoy that sort of thing, especially if they're at a dinner. They like to have a wine paired with their meal, etc. So the food aspect of this for me is going back to my search for excellence, because everybody can have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or a grilled cheese sandwich, or a hamburger, but we go and identify places that might do all of those things 10 times better and try to present that in our videos. Whenever we have someplace new and exciting to serve as a destination for our meal this evening, we'll bring the camera along, we'll turn it into an adventure, and by the end of the day, you can make up your mind whether you want to go and check this place out or not. Our videos have been probably misclassified as reviews, because they're more like a presentation of what we had for an experience when we hit any new restaurant for ourselves. And we don't have a 5-star scale for every dish on the plate. We don't have a 5-star scale for the service. But if someplace does any or all of that terribly, we will not publish the vlog. So if you see their vlog, they know that we had a good experience there.
So what allowed you to continue pushing forward and singing and playing piano and adding that for people to see?
I knew you were going to ask that question. So I actually stopped playing at the age of 13 years old. My piano teacher had died, and I made a solemnly swear that I was never going to touch a keyboard ever again. Well, at the age of 43, 30 years later, I was on a cruise ship in the Yangtze River in China. And I can remember walking over to him and I said, can I play your baby grand? Because I never got on a baby grand before, or a grand piano. And they're like, yeah, sure. So I go up on stage and I start playing Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue. And my husband, who was my boyfriend and best friend at the time, he's up in the bow of the ship and he's looking out the Yangtze River, and it was dark out. He turns around as I'm playing. He goes, what are you doing? And I said, I'm playing. He goes, I didn't know you played. And I said, surprise. He goes, you might want to look behind you. The entire auditorium was filled. Everybody from the cruise ship came down to hear me perform. And ever since that moment, when we got back, I got my first keyboard and I started to play again. And the joy that I bring to my husband's life when I play was the most amazing feeling in the world. And one day he said, why don't you learn how to sing to when you play the piano? And I said, that's impossible. I'm like, that's like trying to teach a toddler to ride a bicycle. He says, no, just try it. And I know I can't sing. I'm not Joan Jett. I'm not Blondie. I'm not Lita Ford, So then I started to sing with the piano. And to see that joy in my husband's face, I was like, all right. I'm like, I can do this. So sure enough, when I can, I sing when I play now. And that's where I am today.
Do you have a favorite place that you've been so far?
Well, that's like trying to pick your favorite child. It's just something that in this moment right now, we are in the best place in the world when we are someplace new, someplace free, someplace that we've longed to go to. So when our plans come to fruition, it is an excellent feeling inside. So we can do all of the planning we want, and when we see it come to life, it's a feeling of personal satisfaction.
So I've got to talk to the two of you individually, but I did have some questions for the combination of you two. Because one thing that everybody across every social media platform sees, and it does happen for a brief period of time, then it might go away a little bit, but even right now it's happening. The matching shirts. I feel like I'm looking at the home team.
You want to answer this one? Go right ahead.
Well, these are our uniforms. We're going into battle this evening, and we have to have the same shirts on. No, that's entirely
That's
a
not
lie.
it. In 2016, we had gone to Japan Disney. And the first thing we noticed when we got there was these young couples, and when I say young, younger than me and him, of course, were getting matching shirts. And he said to me, we're going to get a set of our own before we leave. And sure enough, we did. Well, fast forward, we've only been criticized once for matching shirts when we went to a wine festival, because somebody says, what is it, bring your girlfriend to work day? And one of us said, no, you're just jealous that your wife doesn't have one. And the guy got really mad and she spilled the wine on him or something. But now we have 200 sets or close to it, and have added reinforcement in our closet to support them all. We've retired some. We haven't burned any yet, but there's definitely, I think, the best of the best in there right now. Did I miss anything, Mr. Producer?
I don't exactly tell the story like that, but that's an acceptable version of the story, yes. It started in 2017, Tokyo Disneyland.
Oh, 17.
The little teenage couples would go and get matching shirts, and we would see little teenage couples walking around the park all day long with matching shirts on. And I said, before we leave, we're going to get our own set of matching shirts. And that was the beginning of the end right there. Because now it is a daily occurrence that we have the same shirts on every day. Extra large for me, medium for her if you're sending us shirts.
And I'm sure everybody wants to know the number one dying question, how do we come up with the idea? A lot of them are, he'll be scrolling on Facebook. Oh, we gotta get those. Okay. But then when I come up with ones like the ones that we have on right now that support a local restaurant, he just looks at me and he's like, okay. So it's a win-win. I think the most unusual one that we have is the bowling shirts that have kitty cats on it or something of that sort.
Bowling shirts.
And I think the most popular one that we've owned is the NASA or the
Blue Angels.
or
Smokey and the
Bandit.
Star Trek,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bad News Bears. We have
that's a
lot of
big one.
comments
That's
on
a big one.
Bad News Bears shirts. Other than that, we also have F1 jerseys. So,
Are you a Formula One?
Are you a Formula One fan?
Or Red Bull. Red Bull gets a lot too.
That's the Formula One shirts, is Red Bull.
And then the people come out, oh, Hamilton this or Verstappen that. Who are you rooting for?
Most of the comments we get about Formula One shirts are when we're on a cruise ship or we are somewhere in Europe, because it is not as big a sport in the United States as it is in other places in the world. But that holds true for some bands that we listen to also, that are bigger overseas than they are right here. And we'll tell people, you have got to see this show. You have got to go to this concert.
Yes.
Whatever it might be.
Right.
But through our own personal experiences, we have formed our own opinions by attending shows in Switzerland.
Hey, we got some nice,
Regensburg, Germany.
and we've seen some local bands too over there.
One of my very first rock and roll trips I ever went on was in 1999, before you. And I got to London and Paris and
you partied with
Rotterdam, partying with Iron Maiden fan club. So that was the rock and roll trip of a lifetime, and that was only about 8 years
That's it?
after. No, wait, 16 years after. After I graduated high school, finally moved to Europe. So many people have gone and backpacked there, but instead I was raising children then.
You've yet to redeem the backpack adventure.
We don't have to do a backpack across Europe anymore. But we do travel as lightly as possible, so we can fit everything in one suitcase for her and one suitcase for me. Handle your own luggage. Stay near the center of town.
Wait, you said handle your own luggage? I'm the Sherpa girl, mister. I handle your luggage.
You have to stop lying, Lucia.
I'm the one that went running through the Lisbon airport with the luggages, and you were far behind.
The luggage was already under the plane.
Or the bags, I should say.
Point.
Your bags, I meant. Yeah, the bags. I carry your bags.
Carry the bags. All right. You handle your own suitcase. I handle my own suitcase.
Yeah.
You're not carrying 2 suitcases.
No.
Are you?
I'm carrying all your bags.
Thank you very much. Can't take it. You're driving me crazy.
I know.
So I'm assuming the favorite kind of music would be rock and roll?
Are you a rocker? Do you like country or rap?
Well, you're not a metalhead anymore. You like the new stuff now. But concerts we've mainly seen over there, metal or rock, or wherever we goes, metal, rock. We even see the new stuff that he likes. So it's a mix.
Sometimes you get some classic rock thrown in there.
Now, if I want to say local, I think the hardest we've heard is Traverse the Abyss, but I don't think we've gotten harder than that. I think that's the hardest we've heard. But would I go see a mainstream band like that? No. So, heavy deathcore metal's out for me.
She's the expert in this area, not me.
She's not jumping in no mud vein pits.
No. Or some of us are dancing on the front row to Iggy Azalea. That ain't me either.
What's this might be a split question. Favorite, I don't know if it'd be genre or background style of food. Favorite thing to eat.
What's your favorite thing to eat, Murph?
We like us some Asian food. I think Asian food is like the number one.
Korean food.
Well, you really just got exposed to Korean food recently. All right, fed her some kimchi 2 weeks ago. Now she's a Korean food expert.
No, my favorite food is pizza, Italian food. That's what I'm all about. Asian's my second.
Okay. Well, when I had my first egg roll when I was about 10 years old, I decided I liked me some Chinese food. And also the Mexican food. We have sought out some fine
we have.
Mexican cuisine along the way.
We have.
One of our favorite things is the all-you-can-eat Brazilian meat fest. Okay.
That's,
The rodizio.
yeah, that's food coma. Territory.
The one that we went to in Boston was called Fogo de Chao.
Oh, you remember it.
And we tracked one down close to us here in Paramus, New Jersey. We're gonna have to make some reservations there and make a whole new YouTube video out of it. Right? That's what we're in for. So the idea might come from somebody else. It might come from
Or
our
the
past
stupidest
adventures.
road trip leads to
And
the best
sometimes
adventure.
the stupidest thing in the world will take us on the best adventure, and that's what we're in for.
So what is the long-term goal you both see with the YouTube channel?
Well, he's gonna retire before me. I would love to do it full time. I really would. That's my goal. Whether it's monetized or not, or if I'm just happily retired, I just want to do it full time. I know some of our colleague vloggers, they've already got there, but yeah, I would love to do it full time. What about you?
What about me?
What about you?
I'm not retiring any day soon.
Damn.
So we're going to keep doing what we're doing and keep presenting what we're presenting. There's 4 months out of the year that we're not out
dark.
and about and traveling. Between January and April, because I have a tax accountant job.
Oh, that's right.
We really don't go anywhere between January
No,
and
we
April.
don't.
Including skiing. We don't go skiing.
Well, we do take an exception one day out of that 4 months, March 21st, mister, and we go somewhere to eat.
What the frick is this? Bullshit. All right, so she gets the night of March 21st off of work. How's
That's it.
that? You can get out early, 5 to 6. How about it? But yes, the other 8 months out of the year, we're on the loose. We have a camera in our hand, and we are gone like the wind. Yes, ma'am.
Anything further you'd like to add?
I would like to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed till today. We have 3,500,
3,240.
almost 3,500 subscribers. She always likes to correct me.
You do the same thing.
So to all of you who have been tuning in, thank you.
Thank
and
you.
Continue to tell your friends about our channel.
Subscribe, like,
And
comment down below.
We will see you in the next video.
Tell us how much we don't suck.